Father, I know you see us working. All the brethren on the street corners, the ones doing music, me, myself, we working hard to get our spiritual body. Spiritual body. So Brother Ron,
Shalom. What you want to do, big guy?
Let's show them something. In the scripture.
That's what I'm
with it.
We're trying to get that spiritual body.
I'm staying faithful in this truth because I want my spiritual body.
That's what I want.
Every day I'm eating the word, getting full of this knowledge.
Off the knowledge,
I'm staying faithful in this truth because I want my spiritual body.
And yes, I do.
Staying ready for the first resurrection.
Yeah.
Gotta have knowledge.
Spiritual body. Shit. See, I'm sick of the snot. Coming in the ailments that this body got. Sick of urination. Sick of defecation. Sick of this pain chasing me to Western medication. Sick of this suffering and sorrow, sadness. Looking round at my people lost in the madness. Affected by the wrong that this life did to them. To the point they missed the message that we try to send to them. Talking about blessed is he who could hold his own. Nah, blessed is he who could kneel to the throne. Cause we can't save ourselves, but we would have been did it. All our revolutions failed us. Tell me that they did. And every time we risen, we got crushed back down. Cause the higher face was hidden for a time, but he back now. Sound doctrine with the power to get you right. Everlasting life for the sovereign Hebrew Israelites.
I'm faithful in this truth because I want my spiritual body.
That's what I want.
Every day I'm eating the word, getting full of this knowledge.
Off the knowledge.
I'm staying faithful in this truth because I want my spiritual body.
And yes, I do.
Staying ready for the first resurrection.
Yeah.
Gotta have knowledge.
A man cannot live on bread alone. Oh. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. I'd rather eat 2 Pete 2 and 22. Have commandments in my life of what I should and should not do. Understand what I'm saying? Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. Precept Proverbs 26:11. We trying to get to heaven, book grade, no leaven, and we can stand by it cause it makes sense. Dead in Christ, rise first, work our efforts being bold in. Hosea 4:6, destroy for lack of knowledge. Ask them what's their nation when they coming out of college. They still telling you a byword. They get offended by the truth, love the flattery of liars. But ain't no falsehood getting in the kingdom. I'ma rap till I reach them while my eye Fred sings.
I'm staying faithful in this truth because I want my spiritual body. Every day I'm eating the word, getting full of this knowledge. I'm getting so full. I'm staying faithful in this truth because I want my spiritual body. Yes, I do. Staying ready for the first resurrection. Yeah. Gotta have knowledge. See, I'm gonna keep eating this word till I become the word.
And why say brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
Sometimes it can be hard to make it, but we gotta be strong.
New vessel.
Can't hold fast what's good.
New vessel.
You're working for that spiritual body, that body that lives forever.
After this test, we gon' live forever. I'm staying faithful in this truth cause I want my spiritual body. That's what I want. Every day I'm spiritual body, getting full of this knowledge. I'm getting so full. I'm staying faithful in this truth cause I want my spiritual body. I want my spiritual. Staying ready for the first resurrection.
Spiritual body.
Gotta have knowledge. Gotta have knowledge.
Shalom, everybody. We back. Talk about it. Don Jackson at the top. You didn't miss it tonight, huh? Praise the height. Humble law keeper Shalom. Leah, Shalom. Jonathan Davis, Jaquan, right? Charles Freeman, Carl Lee, Michelle H, Laquita Burns, I know who that is. Shalom, Laquita Burns. Good to see you, my sister. Gospel of Discipline, Nina Garza. How y'all doing? Praise the higher. Come on. He got us here. Another day, right? Another night. The day is gone, right? It's a new day. He got us to another one. Praise the higher. Yeah, let's go. Let's go into what I saw a little bit. Can you please not run in and out the door, please? I am live. Where should I start at? When I went,
Yeah.
and I got those labs done, how was I feeling? Was I all right, or was something wrong with me?
It was spacey.
Spacey?
Yeah. It was real spacey. A lot of the time, we used to be in there recording every day for hours, and I wouldn't see you. You would get up early.
Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Shalom, here we go. Let's try it again. Y'all gotta understand we are far from civilization, right? Can y'all hear me? Tap in some sevens if you could hear me. There we go. I don't remember feeling bad. When I went to get those labs, I almost didn't go. right? Because I wasn't big on the doctor at all. You know, it been forever since I gone anywhere near any type of checkup or any. I didn't do those kind of things. You know, and I remember feeling like I'm gonna just go. You know, you set it up. And used to set them up all the time, and I just miss them on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, I said, let me go. And I went. And it was like a few days after that, by the time they got my labs back, was when I was moving the shop, right?
Yeah.
I was putting the shop in storage in the hot summer sun, in that hot truck, in that steel truck, in that heat that made the truck like an oven.
It was like 100 degrees out.
Maybe more than that. 102. Something like that. And, you know, I didn't get good sleep the night before. I was up and down all night. And I remember feeling tired when I woke up. I got up and it was like I hadn't even been asleep. I was tired. But I had already loaded up the truck. It was full of stuff. So I just jumped in the truck, drove to the storage, started unloading the truck. And I remember I was having to sit down like every 2 pieces. I moved 2 pieces and I fall into the seat, you know, and rest for 5 minutes or so. And I thought it was the heat. I thought it was not being tired, but my body was shutting down. I was dying there, you know. Did the worst thing you could do in that situation with dealing with kidneys. I was drinking coffee, you know, but that coffee was what was giving me the power to go back and get 2 more pieces, you know. So I hit the coffee and then I go back. And I knew I needed that coffee too. I was actually a tea person, but dragging like that, some tea wasn't gonna get it. So yeah, I was on coffee that morning. And I was halfway through moving the truck, emptying out the truck, when, you know, the call came. And it was you talking about what the doctor told you.
Mm-hmm.
What they tell you.
First they said that they had tried to call you and you weren't answering your phone.
Like I never do.
And so they called. The nurse told the doctor we can't get a hold of him. And the doctor, Dr. Wright, he told her, get a hold of his wife. And she said, well, we don't have authorization to call her with this information. You know, they hadn't had your consent on paper. And he said, I don't care what you say. He said, I got a verbal from him in the office before. Call his wife now. So she called me and she said, he needs to come to the hospital immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Stop whatever you're doing and get him to the hospital. And I said, okay. And I called you and I told you what they said. They said something came back on your labs and you needed to get to the hospital immediately or you could die. And your response was, okay, let me finish unloading this U-Haul. let me finish unloading this U-Haul first. Gotta take the U-Haul back. It's due back today. And you did all of that and then went to the hospital.
Yeah. Went to the hospital. And that's when they told me what was going on. So skip to what happens, because I was ready to pass out moving the truck, and it didn't get no better all day. I was just getting more and more tired. Okay, so let's skip to when my blood pressure shoots up in the 200s, right? Blood pressure is in the 200s. I cold out. I'm a cold something, however they do them codes in the hospital. They send all of the employees run into the room and they pounce on me and they doing all of the stuff that they doing. And, I just remember being real cold. I was real cold. I didn't think I could get any colder until she put that fan in my face. And that was the coldest I ever been in my life. And she put the fan there, and I almost wanted her to move it, but it was helping me breathe. So, I couldn't get a full breath. It was broken. My breath was broken in and out. Sucking in, blowing out, it's broken. And I remember that. Couldn't breathe. That fan was helping. It was short-lived, though. It was short-lived. Couldn't breathe. And I remember it just started getting warm. Cold as it was, it started warming up. And it felt good, Like if you jump into a toasty bed or something from coming in out of the rain or something, it just started feeling good. And I'm like, okay, this feels good. And, I have been tired all day. I have been dragging all day, feeling what I was feeling all day. And there was no way I was about to get any rest feeling like that. And then I cold out, so that was the height of it. I'm freezing, I'm all cold. I can't stop shaking. I remember I stopped shaking. It felt good. And that was love coming to get me. I got real warm. I felt real good. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to go to sleep. Now, to me, I cozied up and I closed my eyes. And, I feel like I went to sleep. That ain't what happened?
No, not at all.
What happened?
You never closed your eyes.
I never closed my eyes.
They kept trying to give you medication and you kept telling them, get away from me. Because they kept trying to give you the same medication. They said it was for your blood pressure to come down. But every time they would give you the blood pressure medication, your blood pressure would spike.
It went up.
It was going up. You were having a reaction to the blood pressure medication. Mm-hmm. And so we finally discussed between me and you, when they weren't around, that no more blood pressure medication. Because we'll stabilize you and then they give you more blood pressure medication and then it spike again.
Start seeming like they was doing it on purpose.
Not to mention we had already had to pull you out of one hospital because they really was trying to kill you. they weren't doing their job at the other hospital. So I done stole my husband out of one hospital, told him against medical advice and all of that. We done stole him up out of one hospital and took him to another hospital. This is the second hospital we had now that all of this occurred.
Mm-hmm.
And the crash team had came in. You know, it was that whole team of people, the crash team.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to, you know, give you blood pressure medication. And you were telling them, no,
Mm-hmm.
get away from me. I don't want it. And then, so they finally gave up. And they put all of their equipment, they rolled up all their equipment, they turned off the lights, and then they got in a single file line and they walked out of there. And they left you to die.
Mm-hmm.
And
I seen that.
They walked out of there and they left you to die.
And I was trying to figure out, if I'm out, how did I see them leave? Because I was telling two stories. I was telling the story of me seeing their backs and their elbows and them pushing their machines out because I saw that. And then it dawned on me later, I was hovering. That's the only way I could have went out and still seen them leave, because I seen them leave. I was hovering. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I remember fighting. I remember fighting for my girls too, when I couldn't breathe, when I was having trouble breathing like that. Fighting for my wife, for my daughter, you know, for my mother, for all the women in my life. I realized right there that I was in charge of y'all, you know. And it was at that moment I knew I had to stay here. And I'm fighting. My breath is broken in and out, but I'm fighting. And I lost. That love and that warmth grew on me so big, and it was just growing and growing and growing. And I'm fighting, saying no, you know? And it just got too big. It got too big and it felt too good. And I remember how selfish it felt to think, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm out of here. And I leaned into it. And I went to sleep. And it just went black. And I'm wide awake. And I'm just sitting there. And that love and that joy is still growing on me. It's getting bigger. The more time go by, that love never stopped growing. It was getting bigger and bigger. And it was just like, it was overwhelming. And it felt so good. And it just kept growing on me. But I'm sitting in the dark and I'm waiting. And then I see the same color as the sky, a blue. It looked like an airplane nose in front of me. And I could see like a half of a sphere in the front of me. And, you know, I could feel that love and that joy is pulling me, you know. It feel like the reason why I'm flying is pulling me. And that's the first thing I see. That's the best way I could describe it. It's like the front of an airplane nose, or like if you on a jet ski or something like that. Right? And it's like that for a while. I'm seeing that. And then I'm able to back out of that. And I see that it's a ball. It's a blue ball. And I'm able to back out of it. And it's like the same view, like if you playing a video game, how you could see yourself from the back and you can guide yourself. That's what it was doing. That's what, and I can see. And I realized that this is me. This is my body. Right? So I pull out of it. I'm a ball. And moving, going forward. And I realize I can see from the side also. So I pull out of myself and I go to the side, and I'm seeing from the side view now, and I'm doing this, right? Or let me do it from this side. I'm like that. And I see from the side that I'm going towards something, and it looked like a wall, right? And it's the same color as me, and I'm going, right? And that love and that joy is still growing. It's getting bigger and bigger, right? And I'm feeling so good, and I don't want this to ever stop, right? But I'm going, right? And it looked like a big blue wall in front of me. So I come back behind myself, video game view again, and I see that I'm going toward this wall. And I get so close to this wall that I see that it's not a wall at all. It's a whole bunch of blue balls, just like me, right? I'm starting to see them, right? And then they're spreading out. And as they sprinkle out, you know, these are probably people that's probably like in a coma or something. They just stuck on the outside. And I see a few before me. And when they hit into the rest of them, it's like a shock, you know? And I see like two of them hit. And that love and that joy is growing. And it's so big. And I'm that close. I'm about to touch it. And if I would have touched it, I don't think I would have came back. I think that would have been it. You know, if I would have connected, that would have probably been it. You know what I'm saying? Because that would have been like the climax. It would have, you know, how it was growing, how that love and that joy, how it was growing. It seemed like it would have just blew up. Boom, you know, the way I seen them hitting, you know, and I get right there, black again. And I'm going through all of this in my conscious mind. The way I'm talking to y'all right now, I'm watching all of this happen to me. And it goes black. I don't hit, but I can still feel that love and that joy is big on me still. But I'm just sitting in the dark. And I'm waiting. And I realize I'm in the dark, waiting. And then, you know, I'm like, what's the next sight I'm gonna see? You ever seen the I Ain't Mad at You video from Tupac? How you got Red Fox and Billie Holiday, and they all singing, they in heaven, they around the piano and all that is cloud. I'm thinking, am I gonna see that, or am I gonna see the Great Golf Fix? You know what I'm saying? Am I gonna see Luke 16? I'm literally thinking all of this, and then I get sight. Boom, hospital room. Right? I'm like, oh, I'm back, you know, and I was a little sour a little bit, you know, I'm like, dang, I'm back here, you know, and when I jumped on the internet and I seen how y'all was praying and, you know, how, you know, my wife's stories, what she was saying, I knew that was why I was back, you know, because of all of that love. And, you know, upon waking up, that's all I know. I couldn't really speak the way I wanted to, but guess what? I could type. So I'm typing. You know, I'm on Facebook with y'all and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, and then it was a hard night. After that, I'm fighting all through the night, trying to, you know, broken breath in and out again. It's trying to pull me out again. You know, I did a whole night like that. And I just remember thinking, you know, life. And it became clear everything that is life, right? I wanted the sun. I wanted to put my feet in some dirt or grass. I wanted some fresh air. I didn't want to be in that hospital at all. And I was breaking out of there. I was hitting side doors and everything, going going up out of that place and going into their courtyard and stuff like that, you know, and I kicked them slippers off and I took them clothes off so that sun could hit my skin. I ain't never done nothing like that in my life, never cared about nothing like that, but I knew it was important, you know, and I put my feet in that grass and in that dirt. And I remember it started energizing me. I remember that's when I started getting some strength back, you know, and I was after that sun. I was thirsty for that sun so bad, I start staring into it. That's when I started sun gazing. And I had talked bad about that, you know, my whole time in the truth. Like, you guys are crazy. It's weird. It seemed like something demonic. But when I was thirsty for everything or anything life, I stared into that sun and it came in through my eyes and it was energizing me. And it was bringing me back and it brought me back, right? And that was the beginning of, you know, me wanting to plant my own food, you know, the importance of vegetation, right? And you know, and that got me back. That got me back. The sun, greenery, dirt, right? And I started making progress. I still was in there about another 2 weeks. They kept me for another 2 weeks, and then I was able to get out of there. But over these 2 years, more and more has been manifesting, right? When you're there in that realm, all knowledge is known, right? And everything is known. You know, it's a calmness and it's a security. And we were all the same being in that realm. And guess what? We were love, right? The molecule, you know, I didn't know this when it happened. I didn't know this for a few months, you know. So as time goes, the Most High keeps giving me more and more and more and explaining to me, you know, what my experience was. And I remember that was a big deal when he made it clear that we were love. And that's why we were only one color. I'm going to share some pictures when I can find them. You know, you see like the Milky Way and you might see a bunch of different colors of dots like that. That's kind of like how it was, you know. But if you see that, you could see that it's different colors, you know, probably about 3, 4, 5 different colors. We was all like electric sky blue, you know, and, you know, I go back to that place. Of course, I had the experience where, you know, we're flying into that force shield or whatever that was. And, you know, of course we have that. But when I go back there, it's like I just chill and I hover and I soak in everything that's there, you know, and, you know, that happens sometimes. But, you know, I say I'm about a year in. I'm about a year in, and that's when I realized that we were loved. And everywhere love is felt, it comes in and out of that place, you know? So, say somebody win the lottery, right? What it takes for them to fill up with that joy and jump up and down, yay! That's what we were. And that's what I felt like. I didn't feel like that. I was that. And everybody else who was there was that. And I could feel love everywhere it was, right? So we are here in this realm. Behind us was the earth, and I could feel that love, right? So I felt y'all love in this realm, you know, praying, and I know y'all was hurt. I know how hurt y'all was, you know. That reached me where I was, you know. Some of y'all were losing it, okay? And that shocks me, you know what I mean? You know, I can't say that I'd known that people would have felt like that, you know. So we're here, the earth, the love in the earth is like behind us. And then there was love up top. There was love up there. I could feel the love up there. And that must have been where the Most High is at. You know, the Most High wasn't where we were, but we can feel him and we yearn for him there too. But it's closer than the earth. We're closer to him than the earth, probably because we don't have that flesh, you know, but, you know, and different things just keep being revealed. You know, he'll wake me up one morning and he'll tell me what something else was, or he'll tell me what to say, you know. And I remember, you know how we versed in the scriptures and we'll get an idea like, oh, okay, you know, and we'll post it, you know. Y'all know I'm the postmaster. I'll post, right? What I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. Now it's different. I think a thought and I go back to that place and I'm in that realm and I feel the Most High's presence, right? And I feel that when I was there was when he told me this. He's not telling me on the day that I think about it. He told me when I was in that realm. And that makes sense, right? Because there's no time in that realm. So if you're there for 1 second, you might as well have been there for 1 billion years, right? And that's how it is. It's endless, you know? It's endless. And I can tell that so much information was taught, right? And it's all emotion. It just fills you up, right? It just fills me up, and I know everything, and it's gonna take time to explain it out, but he gives me the whole situation, boop, and it's there, right? And then I just start chopping it up, step 1, 2, 3, and I could just, you know. So y'all might remember I posted on Facebook one day, you know, matter of fact, let's just go to it. If I could get in here and find it real quick. Let me explain to y'all this situation. right? Don't miss the message, not that one. Love is a literal place, not that one. Dang, how far is it down? I'm a stern father. That's when I came back. Right? Found it. It says the father wants us to relax a little bit. He translated that. He doesn't like that we are more scared of going to hell than we are eager to do the right thing. It's not about the punishment as much as it's about learning decency and order. When he gave me that, it was like, boop, right? One motion. And I filled up with all of that. And then I was able to step by step, you know, the first part, the father wants us to relax. I felt that. It's like I became a part of his heart for a moment, right? And I know that that's how he feels. And he wanted me to say he wanted me to post this, right? He translated that, right? Because I could feel that he did it in my experience when I was in that realm, right? And it's like he feeds things back to me, what he wants me to feel at the moment when I'm feeling it and ready to speak it, right? It's coming from the experience, right? He doesn't like that we are more scared of going to hell, right? We off on that, you know? He never meant for us to be so scared, right? That we can't enjoy him as our father, right? That bothers him, right? When we get all scared, everything is hell, 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 right? It's not about the punishment, right? He wants us to do the right thing. He wants us to focus more on that. Yeah, we in trouble if we fail, right? But he knows, probably because he knows our beginning and our end, he know it don't kill us, so it probably bothers him to see us spending our life, you know, petrified, right? And that's all translated. I know he feels like that, right? You know, he wants us to be eager to do the right thing. And I can relate to that because we have the same relationship with our children that, you know, he has with us. He's a father, you know, like we are fathers and mothers. And think about that when you're dealing with your child, right? Of course, you will spank them if you need to, but sometimes you just want them to get busy and do things. And it's more about getting the task done, you know, than it is about, I'm going to whoop your behind, right? And then they stay stuck in that state. And you over that, right? You over it. You know, the job is done. They did it, blah, blah, you know. But now they're broken, scared, right? You know, I'm teaching Jeremiah, right? And we're dealing with what we dealing with. And, you know, I might get a little loud. Do it like this. No, not like that, like this, you know. And then he does it. And then I go to, you know, high five, you know, and I'm just like, oh. And it just spoils like everything, right? And that's how we're making the father feel, right? And that's when I came back with that one, right? I'm a stern father is how it starts out, right? I'm a stern father, right? Y'all go catch that one if you got me on Facebook, right? But that's just an example of how he's communicating with me right now, right? And that brings us to the point I want to drive home. Let's go to it. It's Isaiah 65. Isaiah 65 and 21. Let's go to it. We get this typed in KJV. Okay, let's Google that. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, right? And they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them, right? So that's what we supposed to be eating, fam. We supposed to be eating our own food, right? We've been the children of Israel, and we have been robbed and spoiled, right? That means robbed and spoiled mean they took everything from us, right? And now spoiling us, I mean, you can be spoiled by, okay, now I'm feeding you, right? Like a spoiled child. You get everything you want, right? But you got to ask for it, right? And what is another thing that the Most High calls spoiled? When you leave it, like milk, right? Spoiled milk, right? So they're doing either or, ain't they? Right? They're feeding us everything we get, right? Like Deuteronomy 28:48, right? Hunger, thirst, right? And want of all things, right? Including knowledge of self. We need to know who we are. We need everything, right? But they have to feed us everything we get. That was a curse, family, right? That's one way we could be spoiled. The other way to be spoiled is just to be left to rot, right? And they're doing either or. They're spoiling us, they get mad at us, or whatever happens with us, and they cut our water off, right? And that looks like the ghetto, right? You see, they ain't painted a building, they ain't did nothing. When you in the ghetto, you know, the building's all cracked up, you know. They left us to spoil, right? So, upon waking up, that's what the Most High wants us to do. It's not a coincidence that over all of these years, we've been in these concrete jungles, so far away from planting anything and growing anything that we're gonna eat, right? It's a reason why we didn't do that, fam. You know? And it don't even cost a lot of money. We could have been eating good, right? Growing and eating our food, our vegetation, right? We should have been doing that, right? And that would have we'd be healthier, you know, we'd be self-sufficient and all of that, you know, it's cheaper, you know. But it wasn't time, right? It wasn't time for that. It was time to suffer. So upon us waking up, and you know, the pork was just the tip of the iceberg, right? That's just the beginning. But that pork, it led us to reading labels, right? So beyond the pork, what else is in this? It was natural to do that, right? And then you realize how many chemicals is coming in your product, right? One question. What makes any of us think that that's lawful? He articulated that we are sinning when we eat them chemicals. How are we allowing the enemy to whip up a chemical, right? And feed us that. What's the wages of sin? Because them chemicals is killing us. You see that? He articulated that, right? Yeah, the wages of sin is death, right? You're going to die. You die from sin. If somebody died, sin was somewhere in the vicinity, right? What shut my kidneys down? All of them toxins, my whole diet. You know we're not supposed to be eating starch. Do you know anything with starch in it is man-made and not made of the Most High? Anything with starch in it is fake. There's this sugar that come from carbohydrates, you know, of the potatoes, you know, of the pasta, of the rice. Anything that breaks down into that sugar was whipped up in a lab to kill us. Anything that breaks down into that white granulated sugar, it's a chemical. It's not nothing grown. It's not what's coming from the bamboo type sugar cane. It ain't that. It ain't the sugar that they're pulling out of fruit. This white granulated sugar is something different, right? And it's made to kill us, right? And that stuff is coming out of fruit, right? But guess what? It's not going to come out of organic fruit, right? When you get it organic and non-GMO and you pay 3 times the price and all that, you're getting a real product. But I don't trust that either, you know? And I spent some time being okay with that. I go to the organic session. You realize how small it is, you know, and how hard it is to eat like that. You know, you might have to go to 5 stores, you know, to prepare one meal because the organic section is so small, right? But hold on, my mind trying to go. My mind is trying to go, and my mouth is trying to go the other way. Okay? I'm talking about this food, Bronze. We're talking about this food. Right? Yeah, everything that sugar is in. You know, and yeah, that stuff it's we're sinning when we eat that stuff. And yeah, we don't trust them, you know. They're gonna sneak in. That's where I was going. They're gonna sneak, how can we trust liars? Can't trust no liar. These people is liars, right? So we can't trust it just because they say it's non-GMO, right? And that it's organic, right? Nah, we gotta leave their whole store alone, right? And then you go in there and everything is in a box and everything is in a bag, right? We're eating toys, right? A lot of this stuff, these chemicals, that's the same thing plastic is, right? That's why your son's plastic Tonka toy don't spoil either, you know? And we're eating this stuff and it's giving us cancers, you know? And we don't digest it and all of that. And it just finds a corner in our intestines and just stays there and rot, right? till it turns into a cancer, right? And then start eating us from the inside out. It's time to stop eating that stuff, family. You know, anything that kills you, okay, is a sin. It's a sin when they making it. You know, cursed are the hands that made it, right? And this is what time it is. And this is what I'm coming to tell y'all. You know, it's what I'm coming to tell y'all. Tap in, right? If you have land, tap in. I made the email address. It's called Plant Vineyards 144. If you have land, tap in. If you have a backyard, you can grow food, tap in. If you have a patio, you can grow a whole lot of food on your patio. There's things, you know, that stack up. In each stack, you can grow food on it. Layers, layers, layers. So you taking a little bit of space, but you're growing a whole lot of food, right? And you could put 4, 5, 6 of these on your patio and grow food, right? And let's all link in here and do our part, because that's what time it is. We're going to feed the children of Israel, right? And we're going to fire these grocery stores, right? We're going to talk about the meat on another segment, right? Maybe tomorrow, maybe another day, but we're going to go into the meat. The meat is a sin too, right? We're going to get into that, right? If we're going to be eating meat, we need to be feeding our meat, right? It needs to be chewing what? What the scripture says it should be chewing. The cud, right? Not the soy that they're feeding these cattle, right? Not the corn, right? That corn is cancerous. That corn is the worst thing you can put in your mouth. And ain't it loaded with starch? But it ain't even the starch I'm talking about. That corn, that GMO corn, right? If you ain't getting it from Gad, you eating cancer corn, okay? But yeah, we're gonna get into that another day. But I need y'all to tap in, and we're gonna put our heads together. We're gonna put our coins together. This is for y'all. I'm already doing it, you know. We already out here, you know. I already got these 5 acres. I'm building my first planter box right now. And when I'm done with it, I'm going to start on another one. And I'm going to show y'all my hill pretty soon. I got a hill that I picked out. And I plan to fill this whole hill up with planter boxes until as long as I live, I'll be adding a planter box to this hill, you know. And I'm gonna be able to feed a lot of people. And let's just start trading among each other like we used to do, you know. And we need to do this in every city and state, right? Everywhere the children of Israel is, we need to be doing this. The more people, the better, you know. The more people you got to move around through, you know, when it's time to get your fruit and your vegetables. And we'll talk about the meat, you know. That's probably going to be exclusive to the people with farms and things like that, you know. But it's a certain way we need to be growing this meat and feeding it and killing it, you know. You can't just kill an animal how you want to and chop it up and eat it. And that's what this earth is doing. They don't care about our law. They don't care about how the Most High told us to do this, right? So when you walk in and you grab this mystery burger, or you sit down at this restaurant for this cheap steak, you know, that they done charged you an arm and a leg for, you know, that they probably didn't cook all the blood out of, you know. And you know, it's a lot of things, you know. It's a lot of ways that they can poison us. You know, how have we let them cook us a meal from behind a wall? We can't see what they're doing. You know, how are we allowing them to feed us meat that we don't know how this meat was grown? You know, do you know these chickens? A lot of them, they never stood up before, right? How a chicken breast get this big, right? Chicken can't stand up on them feet, right? And it sat there filthy, right? Its whole life and just big and fat and just, you know. And then they chop that up and sell it to us, and we take it home, and then we wonder why we sick. You know, we wonder why we got asthma. You know, we wonder why our stomach hurt. We wonder why we got all of this inflammation. We wonder why we got diabetes, right? We wonder why we having heart attacks. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but a lot of the IAM have had heart attacks. And I remember a time in the truth where wasn't nothing touching us, right? I was looking around watching everybody die, but these children of Israel in this community wasn't being touched, right? And I remember when that changed, you know, I remember when it changed. I remember when I heard about that first death, and man, they done picked up heavy since then. And now it's no big deal for us to check out. Almost got me, right? And, you know, the Most High, he spared me, right? And he probably started just to take me to, you know, but I don't know. He found it somehow in his will for me to come back and talk this, right? And it probably was the love that y'all prayed with in y'all prayers for him to spare me. And he said, you know what? I'm not only gonna spare him, I'm gonna send him back, you know, with some liberation for y'all and with a plan for y'all, right? Praise the higher, you know, praise his holy name. And this is what time it is, family. You know, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It might be hard, but I know us. It's going to be easy for a lot of us, you know. For a lot of us, it's going to be frustrating, you know. For a lot of us, we're going to say, well, never mind. I'll just buy from the rest of y'all. And that's cool too, you know. Come go shopping, you know, or go to whoever is in your town going to be getting busy and go shop over there, you know. But watch, family, watch how healthy we get, you know, watch how these health problems leave us alone, and watch how, you know, I'm going to tell you one thing. Blessings bring about more blessings, right? So we'll be blessed healing ourselves, but the Most High is going to watch that, and he's going to bless us even harder, right? And this is how we're going to start seeing, you know, these blessings, family, and all of the stuff that this book promised, okay? He's going to love that, you know? He's going to love that we're doing this, you know? He's very serious about plant vineyards. And we skim over that scripture probably and just keep on going, and he's tired of that, right? It's time to feed ourselves. It's time to become self-sufficient, okay? This is what time it is, So y'all got the email address, Plant Vineyards 144. Let's put our heads together, you know, and let's figure this out, and let's figure out how to feed our people. That's step one. Okay, that's step number one. We got to get this diseased food out of us, right? And start nourishing ourselves the right way. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is what he wants, y'all. We're going to go deeper into this, you know. We're not really, you know, doing any teachings yet, but They're about to start flowing. You know, there's precepts, there's things, uh, places and all of this. We're gonna go into, this is what it's giving me that pump warning. We back. It gave me that message that it's about to start tripping. Tap how, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Blessings bring about more blessings, right? So we'll be blessed healing ourselves, but the Most High is gonna watch that and he's gonna bless us even harder, right? And this is how we're gonna start seeing, these blessings, family, and all of the stuff that this book promised. Okay, he's gonna love that. He's gonna love that we're doing this. He's very serious about plant vineyards, and we skim over that scripture probably and just keep on going. And he's tired of that, right? It's time to feed ourselves. It's time to become self-sufficient. Okay, this is what time it is. So y'all got the email address, Plant Vineyards 144. Let's put our heads together, and let's figure this out, and let's figure out how to feed our people. That's step one. Okay, that's step number one. We got to get this diseased food out of us, right? And start nourishing ourselves the right way. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is what he wants, y'all. We're gonna go deeper into this. We're not really, doing any teachings yet, but they're about to start flowing. There's precepts, there's things, places and all this. We're gonna go into, this is what time it is, family. Let's get well. Health is wealth. Wealth ain't wealth. Health is wealth. Right? Uh-oh. It's giving me that pump warning. We back. It gave me that message that it's about to start tripping. Tap in some sevens if you could hear me. Let me see them sevens. Let me see them perfections. If you could hear me. Praise the higher. We live. Okay? So y'all tap in. Okay? I don't care who you are, you know, tap in. Whatever went on with you, you got to eat, right? Whoever you are, you got to eat, right? You know, especially if you know you a child of Israel, you know, the target is on your back, you know. There's precepts, there's things, you know, uh places and all this, you know. We don't go into step one. But I'm gonna catch up with y'all. I am Shalom. Right? But guess what? It's not going to come out of organic fruit, right? When you get it organic and non-GMO and you pay 3 times the price and all that, you're getting a real product. But I don't trust that either, you know? And I spent some time being okay with that. I go to the organic session. You realize how small it is, you know, and how hard it is to eat like that. You know, you might have to go to 5 stores, you know, to prepare one meal because the organic section is so small, right? But hold on, my mind trying to go. My mind is trying to go, and my mouth is trying to go the other way. Okay? I'm talking about, you know, how have we let them cook us a meal from behind a wall? We can't see what they're doing. You know, how are we allowing them to feed us meat that we don't know how this meat was grown? You know, do you know these chickens? A lot of them, they never stood up before, right? How a chicken breast get this big, right? Chicken can't stand up on them feet, right? And it sat there filthy, right? Its whole life and just big and fat and just, you know. And then they chop that up and sell it to us, and we take it home, and then we wonder why we sick. You know, we wonder why we got asthma. You know, we wonder why our stomach hurt. We wonder why we got all of this inflammation. We wonder why we got diabetes, right? We wonder why we having heart attacks. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but a lot of the IAM have had heart attacks. And I remember a time in the truth where wasn't nothing touching us, right? I was looking around watching everybody die, but these children of Israel in this community wasn't being touched, right? And I remember when that changed, you know, I remember when it changed. I remember when I heard about that first death, and man, they done picked up heavy since then. And now it's no big deal for us to check out. Almost got me, right? And, you know, the Most High, he spared me, right? And he probably started just to take me to, you know, but I don't know. He found it somehow in his will for me to come back and talk this, right? And it probably was the love that y'all prayed with in y'all prayers for him to spare me. And he said, you know what? I'm not only gonna spare him, I'm gonna send him back, you know, with some liberation for y'all and with a plan for y'all, right? Praise the higher, you know, praise his holy name. And this is what time it is, family. You know, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It might be hard, but I know us. It's going to be easy for a lot of us, you know. For a lot of us, it's going to be frustrating, you know. For a lot of us, we're going to say, well, never mind. I'll just buy from the rest of y'all. And that's cool too, you know. Come go shopping, you know, or go to whoever is in your town going to be getting busy and go shop over there, you know. But watch, family, watch how healthy we get, you know, watch how these health problems leave us alone, and watch how, you know, I'm going to tell you one thing. Blessings bring about more blessings, right? So we'll be blessed healing ourselves, but the Most High is going to watch that, and he's going to bless us even harder, right? And this is how we're going to start seeing, you know, these blessings, family, and all of the stuff that this book promised, okay? He's going to love that, you know? He's going to love that we're doing this, you know? He's very serious about plant vineyards. and we skim over that scripture probably and just keep on going, and he's tired of that, right? It's time to feed ourselves. It's time to become self-sufficient. Okay, this is what time it is. So y'all got the email address, Plant Vineyards 144. Let's put our heads together, you know, and let's figure this out, and let's figure out how to feed our people. That's step one. Okay, that's step number one. We got to get this diseased food out of us, right? And start nourishing ourselves the right way. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is what he wants, y'all. We're going to go deeper into this, you know. We're not really, you know, doing any teachings yet, but they're about to start flowing. You know, there's precepts, there's things, you know, places and all this, you know. We're going to go into, you know, this is what time it is, family. Let's get well. Health is wealth. Wealth ain't wealth. Health is wealth, right? Uh-oh. It's giving me that pump warning. We back. It gave me that message that it's about to start tripping. Tap in some sevens if you could hear me. Let me see them sevens. Let me see them perfections. If you could hear me. Praise the higher. We live. Okay? So y'all tap in. Okay? I don't care who you are. You know, tap in. Whatever went on with you, you got to eat, right? Whoever you are, you got to eat, right? You know, especially if you know you a child of Israel, you know, the target is on your back, you know. And another thing, a lot of this stuff, it don't harm other people. It's a bio weapon. It's made for us. You know, it's made to take us down. But that's step one, you know, is getting this going. You know, you could put some seeds in some dirt and be eating it in 3 weeks, right? So if we plant something 1 week, wait a week, plant something else every week, plant, you know, and then it's just going to start blooming, you know, 1 week at a time, you know. So we dealing with this week, you know, next week that's going to be ready, right? And everybody who's around here, you know, around the Southern California area, we all gonna take care of each other, you know, get it going again, you know, Central California, Northern California, all the way across the globe, you know what I'm saying? You know. But we coming up on that hour, y'all. 58 minutes, 59. So it's been blessed. The water, y'all, for sitting in and listening. You know, we just bouncing some ideas around. You know, I got the whole vision. You know, he gave me the whole vision. You know what I mean? And we can do this. You know, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Watch. You watch. You know, we're gonna do this because I know you guys ain't gonna keep putting something in your mouth that you know is killing you. Right? I know you're not gonna do that. I know there's a part of you that yearns to eat clean food that you grew yourself, right? Or that's coming from this body, right? And anybody who steps in and tries to bother this, I feel sorry for you. Okay, you're building for yourself a horrible fate if you come among us playing games, right? So he don't want us worrying about the threat either. He don't care about that. You know, we got an assignment. We got what we got to do. So let's jump on it. I love each and every last one of y'all. You know, and you can buy this vegetation too, right? And you can grow this vegetation too. It's all about, it's up to you how deep you want to go, how deep you want to get into it, right? But this is step one. But I'm gonna catch up with y'all. I am Shalom. Kapow. Y'all see that? That's a realm, y'all. That's a pocket in space. And guess where it's located? Beneath the Most High's feet. The Most High stands on that, right? That is a perfect work of sapphire, as onto a sapphire stone is what that is. What you're looking at right there, right? Oh, if you see that, if you should lose your flesh and you go drifting into that, let me tell you, right? Exodus 24:10. Let's go there. Let me stop a moment real quick and just give it up to the realm, y'all. Let me just show you that reward one time. And they saw, and who saw? Me and all of them other souls that was in that place, right? Let me see if I could do something. I'm gonna just, and they saw, and who saw? All these souls right here. That's made up of souls. Those lights. The further you come out of it by yourself, you turn blue. But the deeper you go in there, that cluster right there in the middle where it's bright, that's still us making that solidness. Oh, when we come together, we shine like that. See, as we come out, we turn blue. And then we go all the way out. What about the dark areas right here? We're still there, right? That's just a tint or a reflection that we give off. But it souls all throughout that. And then it goes to where you can easily see that there are dots there, right? There's dots. Each of one of them dots is a soul, family. Who made it here? Through love. And they saw the God of Israel. I bet he pops down, because he's right up here. Up there, the next thing you hit is going to be the Most High's realm where he lives, where the Holy Spirit is, right? Where Christ is, where they sit on thrones, right? Surrounded by angels. That's where they are up there, right? Yes, right? And they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, where? Under his arm, under his feet, as it were a paved work. Where is that at? Kapow. He called that a paved work, right? As a paved work of a sapphire stone. Y'all. That blue, that sapphire. Let's grab us a sapphire stone. Drop it in there too. Grab us a sapphire stone. Oh, there's one. Tell me this don't look like that. Oh my goodness. Check this out. Kapow. Y'all see that? Don't that look like this? You see that white right there? You see that shine that's giving off? What about this part? This light blue. It's right here. See all that light blue through there? As it gives off the different dimensions that it's showing you from, it turns a lighter blue, right? It turns from a lighter blue all the way to what? It gets dark. What's that dark blue? That dark blue, it's all out here, right? What about that dark stuff? Look at this. That it's almost like a navy blue, right? It looks black, right? You can mistake that for black there. You see that? What is that? That's all this out here. It's all that out there, right? This is like the work of a what? A sapphire stone, y'all. We are not supposed to be talking about this right now. We are not supposed to be talking about this right now, man. Do you see what the Most High did for us in these last days? Right? What it say? And there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of a sapphire stone. Huh? As it were, the body of heaven is what? Wait, where are we? As it were, the body of heaven. The body, they're people. They're people. Huh? As it were, the body of heaven. In his clearness, he revealed this. He's being clear in his clearness. It's a blessing that he grants this, right? This is in his clearness. He's done playing game when he shows you this. When he shows you that, right? As the work of a what? Sapphire stone. He's being what? Totally clear, right? He's revealing so much to you. This is not supposed to be in the earth. We are not supposed to be talking about this. We're supposed to be looking at this scripture, wondering what in the heaven is this talking about, right? What would y'all think if you read? What would we think? That's why you ain't never seen nobody bring this out. We don't know what this is. We do now. All praises to the Most High, whose name is the highest, right? Glory be unto him.